if you own a business or you have a sole proprietorship or a corporation, or you have a piece of paper that says you own a business, it's possible that a few years ago you took something called the CEBA loan, the Canadian Emergency Benefit. God, I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember what it is now. My God, that's terrible. But it's the loan that came out for businesses during the lockdowns, and it started out just for corporations, and it was $40,000. And the idea was if you paid back $30,000 by the end of 2022, then you could keep the remaining 10. And then they upped it to $60,000. The idea being that if you paid everything back before the end of 2022, or if you paid back $40,000, you could keep the remaining 20. That, of course, morphed as time went on. I think it started out as corporations with employees, then just corporations, then sole proprietorships. And, at that point, anyone who could show they owned a business prior to the CEBA loan becoming a thing, they could qualify for the loan. I actually had a client who called me up and said, "Hey, Zach, do you think I can get that CEBA loan?" And I said, "Well, what do you need it for?" And he said, "Well, I want to pay off my proposal." He was already in a proposal. I said, "That's not really what it's meant for, though, I suppose." And then it hit me. I said, "Well, wait a second. How are you going to get the CEBA loan? You have to own a business. Do you have a corporation?" He said, "No, but I own a barber shop." I said, "What?" He doesn't own a barber shop. He has a sole proprietorship. He has a piece of paper that says barber shop. He got the loan. He got the loan, and he paid off his proposal, and I imagine he still has the loan because he's not a stupid guy. He's a pretty clever young man. And as you may or may not know, the CEBA loan terms were extended to the end of 2023. They're talking about extending it again. I would prefer they didn't, though personally I'd be happy if they said, "Well, how about this? We'll extend it to 2024, but if you pay it back in 2023, then you get to keep even more of the loan." I could go for that because guess who took the loan? Okay? If the government wants to give me free money, I'm not going to be the only sucker in town. Anyways, the reason I bring up the CEBA loan is people have asked, what can we do with this loan if I have it? Well, we have to split that in two, and the first thing I'll ask someone if they have the CEBA loan is I'll say, is the CEBA loan for a business that's part of a corporation, or is it a sole proprietorship? Because if the CEBA loan is for a sole proprietorship, that loan is attached to you personally. It's as good as a personal loan, pretty much. And you're on the hook, and we would have to include that as any part of a restructuring plan. And of course, we include the full amount, not the amount you would get to keep if you paid it back. Of course, you're not paying it back. So we'd have to show the full 60 in most cases, which is what people borrowed. If it's a corporate debt, though, so far, to the best of my knowledge, every single CEBA loan that I have seen that is was acquired by a corporation is strictly a corporate debt. It is not personal. And in that respect, it's not included in a personal restructuring because it's not personal debt. And in most cases, in every case actually, the first thing I'll say to someone if they have a corporation and a CEBA loan is I'll say, "Are you continuing with the corporation, or do you need to continue with this corporation?" And usually people say, "Well, look, the business isn't working anyways, I'm done." Or, "Yeah, the business works, but..." I'll say to them, "Well, in that case, do you need to operate out of the same corp?" "Well, no, I don't." "Are there any assets in the business?" "No." "Laptop." Okay, at which point what we do there is the CEBA loan will die with the corporation. So in that case, we have to do something called a wind down. We have to basically pop the person out of the current corporation, let's call that old co, pop them out of there, put them into new co. Old co dies. We're not closing it so much as we're just letting it die. And the CEBA loan dies with it. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? It's true. Now, if that business has all kinds of assets, all kinds of receivables, is going concern, and so forth, that obviously makes it more difficult, and we have to address things in a different way. But the purpose of this video is to let you know, A, the CEBA loan can be included in a restructuring process, but in a lot of cases, whenever someone has that CEBA loan in a corporation, I've had people sitting in front of me, and before they even start, they say, "Look, I owe around $100,000. And by the time we're done, I say, "No, you owe 40. You say, what do you mean? I owe, you forgot the 60,000 CEBA loan. I said, no, it's part of the corporation, right? Yeah. What do? I'm a consultant. Any assets in the business? Just my brain and a computer. Let me show you how to do a wind down. Okay, now there's a proper way to do this and there's a stupid way to do this. You want to do the proper way. Okay, so that's where we can definitely help, and also with the restructuring. But the CEBA loan can be included. If it's part of a personal restructuring, your sole proprietorship, or you somehow have a personal guarantee on the loan, we can take care of that too, and we just have to make sure everything's tidied up with the business as well. But CEBA loans to date are not special. They've been treated like any other debt, and unless something changes, this will be the case for the foreseeable future. Hope that helps. Have a good day.